If you want to see me create my first look using the Juvia's Place Violets palette, then stick around. Hi there, it's Hélène and welcome back to HMM Makeup, or Makeup. I am very excited to play with this palette. It has been a long time coming, the violets from Juvia's Place. Hopefully the color is coming through. My light is a little bit strong here, but anyway, it has a very nice yellow and purple goodness over here. And last time I did create a look with the Mauves palette. If you enjoyed the first look that I did with the Mauves palette and you want to see a look with the other three, please leave me a comment below this video and I will definitely consider it. I just want to know if there's demand for it. If there is, I would be willing to definitely use the other three colors. I think they were as interesting as the three that I used, so let me know. Today though, we are definitely going to use the violets, and it is a beautiful palette. Very, very purple. I mean, I don't think it gets much more purple than that for a purple palette. It's kind of nice to have a little bit of an anchor color here that is not necessarily linked to the theme in question. It's almost like touching the tree when you're in a tag match where you get a little safe zone. I think that anyone who's nervous about purples at least has a little safe zone here to kind of, as a comfort zone, to then dabble into the other colors. And I think that that's was very bright of Juvia's Place to do. And still, for anyone who is a big purple fan, you still have 5 pans still. I mean, there's only one that's kind of the absolute safe shadow, that if you are stuck with this 6-pan palette, you have a neutral color you can use. I really do think these are beautiful. I did swatch them. I will put the swatches video right there for you because I think swatches are useful in determining whether you like a color or not, and also to see the quality of the shadow in the swatch. To me, if it swatches well, it does tend to apply well. We all have our opinions, but usually if I have a good swatch experience with a palette, I usually like the palette. And we can use our fingers for makeup application anytime. And actually, when I have a very nice, brilliant shadow that I want on the lid, I'm using this as my brushes, and it always turns out beautifully. So anyway, sidebar on that. But let's talk about this palette and what I might do with it. I'm just looking at it now. I do like mattes as a base, and I did do a pretty, I didn't do a very edgy look last time, and I think it might be fun. And I even used, if you haven't noticed this one, it is a nice lip gloss from Urban Decay that I thought would go really well with this palette today. And so that is what I have on my lips. I really quite like it, and it's very comfortable. Plus it has a bit of a pepperminty feel to it, but nothing too crazy, not like a major lip plump or anything. And I thought it would look good for the look. For my base, as far as my eye, I just have the Sephora, I don't think they sell this anymore even. It's this Beauty Amplifier. It's just kind of, it's almost like a primer for the lid. And I just put that on. So on my eyes, that's all I have on. It's just a very plain color. And I have as well the Legend waterline liner on my upper waterline, again from Urban Decay. Just a way to start off. And if you're wondering about my brows, I have the Sephora brow pencil, and not the micro pencil. These were the kind of fat jumbo pencils from quite a while ago. That's what I have in my brow, and I have the clear brow gel from Sephora that is relatively new. That is what is setting my eyebrows. So I think you're all up to speed. I didn't tell you about my foundation. Foundation is e.l.f. watch out for my review of e.l.f. products that is coming up in the coming weeks. I have done a thorough review personally of e.l.f. products and do want to do a video to share my thoughts with you. And so I'm using the e.l.f. foundation, and I also used the e.l.f. primer, and I used a lot from my quad that is always featured in Partners in Cream. I use that quad for a lot of my base products on my face, and I think I've given you enough information. Let's get into applying shadow from the palette. Of course I missed something, right? I do want to let you know I also have this on my cheekbones. I have a basic Buxom highlighter as a base highlight, and I did put this lovely, lovely highlighter on my cheeks as well before doing this look, and I think that I am glowing to the gods, and I'm not mad about it. Okay, now let's apply some eyeshadow. And I really don't have a plan. So I'm looking at this. I did say let's go a little edgier because the last look was not super edgy with the mauves. And I think I'm going to go pretty smoky. I'm going to go with this one and then do a light inner to 2/3 of the lid with this one. Those are the two I'm going to use. Smoky matte and then inner bling with a lighter purple. Let's get started. Okay, so I have the palette with me, and I have the quad I mentioned earlier. That is what I used for my face products, supplemented by a couple of highlighters, and it has a mirror, and that is how I usually set up my palettes this way. So I have a mirror and the palette, and I have all my brushes in front of me so we can start off. I did talk about using the deep matte first, so let's do that. I will do one eye completely, the eyeshadow and the liner, mascara and all, and then go off camera and do the other one so that we're not wasting each other's time. And let's jump right into it. I'm a little nervous. It's a very deep matte that I've never used before, but nothing ventured, nothing gained. So let's jump into that very, very deep purple. And for that purpose, I'm going all in. I'm using my big fluffy brush that I used actually for that beige base. And I'm jumping right into this very deep purple, but I'm going to be very gentle with starting off light and building up as I go. That is not bad at all to start. Nothing's patchy. It is very, very smooth. And I have been really enjoying putting a base eyeshadow before a look. So that Sephora primer shadow, as they kind of are calling it, is not a bad start. And any kind of eyeshadow that matches your skin color reasonably well is going to do the trick. I don't think it has to be a specific brand or a specific type. Match to your skin color is just great. It's kind of like putting foundation for your eyelid. This is really nice. And I have to keep looking at the mirror under the camera because my camera viewer, little screen viewer, is telling me it's patchy, but when I look at it in the mirror, it looks reasonably nice. Okay, I'm not upset about that coverage, and I only dipped in a few times, and I'm dipping very lightly, by the way, because this thing is so dark. And I think I'm going to go right up to the inner part of the eye. Now, that's not a recommendation I have for everyone. It depends on how much lid space you have. If you don't have a whole lot of lid space into the inner lid, that might be a little much. And I don't do it all the time. I just do it if it seems like it's going to work based on the shadow in question. And I never know until I right at the moment I make that decision. I am liking this color enough. I'm going to bring it to the lower outer lid. And this is one of two brushes that I like to use. It's the Sephora Small Shadow Brush. And I'm just going to tap and pick up the kick up and just bring it from outer to about center lower lid. Again, just using what's on the little bit I picked up on the brush because I don't want it to be too harsh on the lower lash line. I'll see if I can pick up just a little bit more kick up. Yeah, just I'm tapping so lightly on the eyeshadow. And I don't want to go too heavy on the smoky part of the purple because I want to go in with a brush, a very precise brush, and go and do an actual line of the deep purple as well. And why don't we just do that right now? So this is the brush that I'm talking about. It's a very precise smudger brush. And I'm just going to go, I just put the very tip of the brush into the shadow, and I'm using it truly as liner right along the lashes. That looks pretty. Gosh, the Juvia's Place and mattes, they are a match made in heaven. I have to say Colored Ring as well. Their mattes are very pigmented, and it's, you just tap your brush in and you get a lot of color payoff. You don't have to go back 10 times to get what you want out of the eyeshadow. That's so nice. This is just so nice. I could just deepen the outer lid and the crease a little bit more, and I would have the look done because I have a little highlighter already on the brow. I'd be done. I'd be done. It's a really, really simple application today. I'm really enjoying it. Okay, I need to deepen the outer lid. I'm going to do that now, then do the bright part here with the very light sparkly purple or violet that I showed you earlier. But I think I want to do the smoky, do the light color, and go back and maybe enhance the smokiness if it's been dampened at all. So let me just yeah, I'm going to do the light first and then go to the matte, the deep matte for the outer lid. I think I'll have to go back and forth a few times. So I'm using this very, very light purple, so it's almost like a sparkly lilac, really. And just pressing it in to begin with. So I get the inner lid completely opaque with that color. And it's very pretty. Ugh. What a joy to work with. This is really nice. And I'm trying not to, I have a tendency to do this, and then the shadow doesn't end up in the right spot, because we don't walk around like this, right? So I try to relax my eyes and not have the surprised look when I'm applying the eyeshadow. And once I have a decent base where I have the control, the precision with this brush, I do tend to go in with the finger, because the finger gives me more opacity and really allows me to press that eyeshadow down. Okay, so I've got as much as I want here. I'm going to deepen up and probably go back a little bit because I'll have covered some of that up, as I said earlier. And I'm going to go back in with this brush with the deeper shadow, the deep matte. Again, this is the one I'm going back to. And press it in, and I may go with a fluffier brush later to get into the crease a little bit better. I may need to use a a less fluffy brush for application. Let's just see how this one does, and if it's not doing its job properly, then I will move to a different brush. Yeah, I think I can work with it. I'm just going to try it with one more pass. And then I'll go to a crease brush to just make sure that that deep purple extends into the crease. A lot of tapping motions, not trying to tug at any of it, just laying it down. Okay, I think I can go with just a bit more. It doesn't seem patchy, that's great. Purples are hard to formulate, so sometimes things don't go well. If you're hearing the basketball game outside, the boys are having a lot of fun. It's the boys and their friends on the street. I live in a cul-de-sac, so it's a really nice place for them to play basketball because there's through traffic, right? It's a roundabout, so you only go onto the street if you're going to one of the houses. Otherwise, there's no point in driving down. And yeah, they're having a hoot outside. It's great. I love hearing kids playing. It soothes the soul, put it that way. I have a little bit of fallout. I'm not worried about it. I do want to, like I said, use that crease brush. So let me grab that. All right, I had to go behind the camera. I'm going with a crease brush that's a lot more tapered than the brush I started with. And that's because I'm really trying to be precise in the application of that matte in the crease. And I said I wouldn't use my brows, right? So I just need to always discipline myself not to have these surprise brows. I'll end up with eyeshadow where I don't want it. I'm really liking this color. Purple has always been a favorite color. Yeah, this is working for me for sure. Okay, what do I need to do? A little bit more of. I'm going to go one last time in the purple, and then I'm going to overlap that lilac, sparkly lilac, back over the purple because it's been eliminated here and there. And I'm trying to think of how I'm going to do the overlap. I don't want to go too harsh. I'm going to use whatever's left still on my finger and see if that's going to be sufficient. And it appears that it is. Okay, good, good. This was easy. Just want to wipe off some of the fallout. And this is my favorite brush to do so. I don't know if it's available anywhere anymore. It was from, well, it is from Smashbox, but I don't think they make it anymore. But if you find a powder brush like this, it's great for fallout. It's the best brush I've found in my entire collection, which I have a lot of brushes. It's my favorite by a long shot. Is there anything else I want to do? I think I just want to sharpen up this area. So I'm going to use it's supposed to be an angled highlighter brush, but I tend to use it for cleanup. I'm just going to buff off extra shadow that I have here and just leave the foundation exposed, and I think it worked pretty well. And so now I'm good to move to liner. I do have a waterline liner on my upper waterline. I talked about it already, Legend by Urban Decay, a waterline specific liner. But now I want to do the liner on the upper lid, and I have Shu Uemura as a liner today. I really like this liner. It has, I have a bunch of cartridges to refill it, so I don't have to buy and throw away a liner every time. I don't know that they sell it anymore, but if you can find a cartridge refillable liner, how much nicer is that to the pocketbook and to the environment? And this brush is fantastic. I really enjoy it. I have stopped being a wing person some time ago. I just didn't find it was for me, but I do like just doing this and using mascara in order to kind of accentuate the outside of the eye. And speaking of, I'm going to try to use this mini Bite mascara. The wand is very, very tiny, and it can be hard to get very far as far as precision of mascara application. So we'll see how it goes. Sometimes it's nice to me and sometimes it's not. But I want to use it. I want to use up all the mascaras I have if I can. Sample or no sample. If you're curious about my favorites, Monsieur Big, Lash Brag. Monsieur Big is Lancôme. Lash Brag is ABH. I also like, and Monsieur Big Waterproof is really nice too. And there's one I'm not thinking of, a Freak from Urban Decay. I love the effect of that one. This one is it's a volume but also quite defining mascara. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. I'm just going to, I have very long bottom lashes and I try to pinch off some of the mascara. Otherwise I feel like I look like a circus clown. And that looks pretty good. And something I don't usually show on camera, I use these very pointy Q-tips, and they allow me to go in, especially when I've put liner on. Very often there's residual that shows up in the corner, and these pointy Q-tips, it allows me to go into the inner corner of the eye, pick up whatever has accumulated there during my makeup application without messing up my liner. And so I really like these pointy tip Q-tips. They're awesome. Okay, you have seen the one eye done. We have used a total of, the royal we have used a total of 2 eyeshadows and a brow highlighter. That is the Buxom highlighter that I had in my Pan That palette, if you recall. I can show you what it looks like now. It's a bit of a spoiler for a future video, but this is the highlighter that I used, that I have right now in a Ole Henriksen pot. I reuse my little pots, but it is a Buxom highlighter that I crushed and have as a loose highlighter, and I use it on my brow bone, I use it on my cheekbones, and anywhere else where I want a little shine, and it's been working so well for me. So Buxom makes beautiful shadows, truly. Okay, I'll be off camera doing the same on the other side, and I will be right back. Okay, I am back with the final look. I'm really, really happy with the way it turned out. I did make a few changes to the look that I did not anticipate when I explained what I was about to do off camera, so let me just walk through things. Of course, I have replicated the look that I created on this eye on the other eye, and I think that they look pretty much the same. Now, for highlighter, I did do a little extra. I ended up going into the Becca highlighter called Amethyst. I realize these are discontinued, although I keep thinking they're coming back. I think, yes, I think on the Smashbox website, US and I believe Canada, that a number of Becca highlighters are available. Anyway, this one is Amethyst. Very hard to see a whole lot of color on camera, but it has a purple hue that is lovely, and I put it on the brow bone, and I also put it on the very inner corner, and I really like the effect. And I did put a little bit over top the highlighter I had from Juvia's Place on my cheekbones. And before the Juvia's Place highlighter, I had I talked about it before, the Buxom. So I have 3 highlighters on my cheeks. I never do that, but apparently today was the day for 3 highlighters. And let's see, I basically replicated the look again. I had that deep matte purple on as liner on the bottom. That is still the case. I did not add any liner, pencil liner at all. I did have the waterline in Legend from Urban Decay on the upper waterline that was there from the beginning of the video, and I did not reapply. And I'm using the what's it called again, Shu Imura on my upper lash line as my liner. Beautiful liner, love it. And Bite Beauty I was gonna say lipstick because it doesn't look like the lipstick container. Mini mascara that has a very nice volumizing wand. But if you do want to buy the Bite Beauty mascara, volumizing mascara, I would suggest the full size. The mini is really hard to manage to put mascara on the eye without making a mess, just because the wand is so short. And once again, I had this lip gloss from Urban Decay when I started. The name of it is Snapped. I'm going to just reapply. I think it really matches the eye look really well today, and I think I have covered everything that you need to hear about what is on my face, I think. And don't mind my nose, it's very, very dry, and so hopefully it has not been a distraction for you today in this video. I'm looking about just to make sure that I don't have anything missing. I think we're good. So just a really quick recap on this palette. I only used 2 shadows. I used this one for most of the look, and this one for inner to, I'd say about 2/3 of the lid. And I would absolutely do this look again. I think it is beautiful. It's not overdone. And I'm not one usually to use a ton of cool colors, but I really like it. Purple is a favorite color of mine. Purple, yellow, and lime green are just, to me, chef's kiss. It's a really nice, easygoing palette, even though I think for a lot of us, it would be a little bit of a scary palette. It is very workable. The mattes from Juvia's Place are lovely. I love the look. Let me know what you think in the comments. Maybe I'm out to lunch. I love to hear what you have to say. And if you have some other requests for this palette, I certainly invite them. The more comments I receive, the more likely it is that I'm going to do another look. And please be specific. I would go 1 to 3, 4 to 6 as far as which shadows you are interested in. Thank you so much for watching me create this look. Let me know what you think. As always, I love to hear from you. And with that, I will say thank you so much for watching and see you in the next video. But for now, take care.